We are from a radio program called Serialkiller, and okay, let's go. Com'è stato lavorare come storyboarder per una serie che si è ispirata a un romanzo in cui già ci sono delle indicazioni e delle descrizioni dell'autore?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm working from film scripts rather than book scripts, and it really makes no difference to me. I mean, it's the same as doing it, working on a comic strip. You still have to interpret. You have to interpret the story no matter what it is. I mean, I used to draw my own stories years ago from novels, short stories. I was very into science fiction. I used to draw Ray Bradbury stories just for myself before I started doing comic work. And for me, interpreting a script, it doesn't matter what it is, it's the same thing. You have to know how to tell a story.
C'è una scena nella quarta stagione, ovvero nel nono episodio, c'è un lunghissimo piano sequenza in cui si vede Jon Snow combattere per difendere la barriera. Ha lavorato in questa fase nello storyboard e com'è stato lavorare in questa fase, in una scena così complicata?
A long shot of Jon defending the wall. I wonder, did we do that? Battle sequences are battle sequences. You just draw a lot of guys slicing and dicing each other with swords. I remember more about the Battle of Blackwater Bay, which was a huge storyboard that we did 4 times. Yeah, because it had the first version I did with the line producer to try and work out problems. The second version I did with the first director that was meant to do it to work out more problems. The third version was after they'd had a production meeting where they had to cut a whole load of stuff and we had to do it in a different way. And the fourth version was after the first director had to go home because his dad was ill and Neil Marshall stepped in. And Neil Marshall just said to me, "We need more blood." And that was it. And I thought, well, okay, this is an interesting set of directions. And so the first thing I got to do on that was squashing a guy's head with a giant boulder. It was interesting. But I remember that one more than I do the end of the first season. I've done lots of battles. I've done lots of battles with Jon Snow. So, they're equally as interesting and as difficult and as easy to do. You still have to draw things. You still have to draw fighting characters. You have to try and remember where everybody is and why they're in places that they are. And you also have to understand whatever the director's asking you to do. So whichever director it was, at whatever time, that's what I had to play with. I just don't remember that first sequence. That's interesting. Oh boy.
A personal question.
Go on.
Non c'entra col Trono di Spade. What do you think about TV series Constantine on NBC? Shown in NBC for the 1 season, and about the crossover with Arrow.
I remember when the Constantine TV series started, I wasn't that sure that it was going to be any good. But by the end of the series, I thought it actually had become something really good. And it seemed a shame that it ended up being cancelled, but that's just the life of TV. I think it gained its way later on, but in a way you needed it to be as good at the beginning as it ended up being at the end. I think there was too many things trying to be crammed in to the beginning episodes that it didn't allow you to gradually find out about the character. You were kind of force-fed it to begin with. And I thought it was interesting that he comes into Green Arrow. I mean, I kind of liked that because it still was giving him a lifespan. I suppose it's more like the way the comic books have gone recently, when they changed Constantine from being a Vertigo character to being a main DC Universe character. I don't necessarily think that was a great idea in comic strips because John Constantine was always one of those really nasty characters that was the backbone of Vertigo. So in a way it seems a shame that you put him into a universe where he can't be as kind of messed up as he was in the Vertigo series. I like the character. I like what he can be. And I think there's still, I think they could still try a TV series if they could only just get it to work right. It is a good character.
One last question. What do you think about crossover in TV series of superheroes? Is a new phenomenal.
Do you mean any TV superheroes or anybody specifically?
Arrow, Flash with Supergirl and Constantine. Also Netflix TV series.
Yeah, I think it's good that the crossovers are happening on TV because it means that in a way, you want to watch all of the series is because you want to see the same characters, and it's a really clever thing. I think that both the DC universe and the Marvel universe have done. I mean, Marvel has managed to have the TV series S.H.I.E.L.D. working in with the characters from the feature films, which is very clever because it makes you know that you want to see all the different elements, the different stories. And I also think DC have finally clicked on because, Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and The Legends of Tomorrow. Thank you. I couldn't remember that. Also, I mean, Daredevil, the new Daredevil TV series is fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. It's the closest thing to the comic strips that I've seen, and I love the fact that it actually dealt with the original Daredevil stories. I mean, it's got Karen Page in it, and Karen Page has been like somebody who was important when Daredevil first began as a comic strip. And I love all that. I love the fact that it's tied in the old with the Mazzucchelli stories, the Frank Miller stories, all of this stuff, and we're getting something that lives up to what the comic books were. I like Jessica Jones as well, which I think it faded a little bit in the middle and then got back on track towards the end. But it's another good character. They've given us the more realistic characters, and those characters are working well. Have you seen the second season of Daredevil with the Punisher?
Yeah.
Wow, man, that is superb. Yeah, superb. I'd love to see a Judge Dredd TV series. I think Judge Dredd lends itself to a really good TV series. I mean, it's a cop show. It just happens to be a cop show, a science fiction cop show. And I think they could probably make greater impact by taking any of the 2000 AD comic strips and running it, any of the Judge Dredd stuff as a TV show. That I'd like to see. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Excellent. Okay, and you've got your dragon.
This is
that's your card.